months are rough, man. Like I feel that people don't understand that this is going to be many months of literally no gatherings, and I think that that's been the hardest reality for most comics.
So true. So true. It's gonna be.
Yeah.
It is gonna be months. I think it'll be at least till September.
Yeah, I agree. August, September.
No,
You guys,
I think
no,
the Minister of Health said that.
I think
Today.
it's going
yeah,
to be till next year. I think September is going to be the second wave. They said fall, there's probably going to be the second wave.
Great.
We're going to get into that shit after. So it's going to be like a fucking year.
Yeah, there was an article saying.
Hold on to your shit.
There was an article saying, what if this is like a yearly thing? Because the virus won't die. There's always going to be like a few people who have it. What if every winter we get this?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
they're
but that's
saying
No, but you
saying
develop
that people are
immunity
not-
to it, right? Eventually there's herd immunity, so you develop immunity once
that's
you
what they're
have it.
saying.
So less people will have it as we go. It'll be less and less people will be symptomatic. So
But
what
it's
about
going to be easier to
mutations?
handle.
Like the flu, like
They
every
said
year.
they said it. Yeah, they said it won't have that same effect.
the thing is that what we're trying to do, and this is what I think that, I mean, I've been reading most of the day, to be honest, and the whole point of the lockdown and the shutdown has been, what we're trying to do is we're trying to minimize the amount of people who have to go to the hospital. That's what we're doing this. Whether we get it or not, like, we're not in that area that we could die. We get it, we stay home, and we'll get better and we'll move on. So what we're trying to do is, like, all the hospitals of the world, if there is a tremendous amount of people going there, then it'll be, like Italy and France and Spain. So we have to get through the amount of people getting it for the first time. That's why we're trying to, like, estimate a month, 2 months, 3 months. But after that's done, we can gradually get back to normal. And hopefully by 2021, we can have a vaccine or something that we can, like, if you get it and if you're over 60, we can figure it out. But in terms of comedy, like, that's what comedians are trying to figure out is, like, is 2020 dead for stand-up? And the answer is most likely yes.
But it's going to be so hard to get people back out. That's going to be difficult.
Or people are going to be hungry to go out.
No, one, people are going to get used to it, Amer. Two, people are not going to have money. And three, will there be actual businesses that will be open at that point? That's the future that you have to see.
Yeah.
So what is the future for funny people? Is it like online content?
It's not that, Amer. Like, how many businesses are going to go under? Like, let's say out of the places where I run my shows,
Yeah,
if those will still be around. That's what I gotta look. You gotta look into the future and see what's happening. You can't just be like, yeah, people are gonna want to go out. People won't want to go out because they're gonna be like, man, is there another virus? People are gonna be used to it. I know they're gonna be very, like, they're gonna be like COVID 20 is coming.
the fear is always going to be there, but I feel people will. You have to imagine, man, 3 months being home, not going out. There's going to be a need to do something, whatever. Maybe I don't know if it's going to be stand up, but there's no way. I don't see people now having a need to say fuck it and going out.
I don't know.
Like the human
I
need.
don't know.
You're gonna have to sell your
today.
nudes, buddy. $500.
I'm working on my pecs. My pecs are worth $25 now. We'll see. We'll see in 6 months.
I think Sid's right, because first there's going to be the medical, okay, like it's fine to go out. Then there's going to be the psychological part where people are going to say, okay, am I ready to go out? So I think realistically it's going to be like 2021 where things are going to start. 2020 is going to be one of those years we're all going to remember as that year where the world reset,
Yeah.
Where the world reset, where like influencers all went bankrupt.
That's not bad.
You ever see those guys that come out of jail after even a year and they can't function in society? It's gonna be like that. Like, there's gonna be being like, yo, I couldn't fucking be next to other people for more than 5 fucking minutes.
Yeah.
It's seriously because people will be used.
Yeah,
It's going to be a fun time to be a human, just to see how people just connect with other people again. It's going to be very interesting, because I teach Chinese kids. That's my daytime job. So I've most of my students haven't left home in like 3 months. Wow. And you can see like there's sadness in their eyes. But now China is allowing kids to get out. So you're not in Wuhan, but out like Shanghai, Beijing. People are allowed to go out now. They're allowed to go to the parks. They're allowed to. Like supermarkets are open now. Some stores are open. Cinemas are not open or anything like that. But people are allowed to come out. So it took them 4 months to get there. So hopefully it will take us 4 months. And there's a demand for people to go out. Like most of my students have been going out with their. So I don't
But
know.
the
I'm
but
still
the
optimistic.
yeah, but the difference between China and the West is that China could tell people stay home, and if you don't stay home, you know what I mean. Like their policies are way more strict, right?
Yeah.
The difference with the West is that, we've told people in Montreal, we've told people in New York, hey guys, you should stay home, and people don't listen, right?
Yeah.
And that's the
Right.
difference.
So in 6 months they won't listen either. They'll be like, "Fuck it." I think I don't know. I'm staying optimistic. I think there's gonna be a need for something. There's a need for content that is not on a computer. So I don't know
Yeah.
how it's gonna come out, but I have a feeling I don't know what it is, but there's gonna be a need for more than online content. I don't know in what format comedy is gonna live in 2021. I think. I mean, out of curiosity, you guys, the comics here, have you been writing new jokes?
Yeah.
No.
I've been writing a lot of stuff. But mostly about what's been going on, because obviously you can't escape it and nothing else makes sense right now. Nothing else, like you can't think of anything else except, even if you write material about something, like let's say you'll write about your relationship, you'll write it within the context of this,
Yeah.
So you start writing, you just keep that muscle warm. And, when you riff with friends, like online, you'll be Skyping with someone, you'll riff about that. You're like, what do you think about this? Oh, I got this. What do you think? What's
Yeah.
missing? So you're just writing that because you can't escape it no matter what. It's part of your everyday.
Yeah, yeah. Same. Like I've been just by doing the podcast with you guys has been, you listen back and you're like, oh, that's a really good premise. That's a really good premise. The difference, though, and this is what's going to be weird, is that for stand up, you have to do those jokes in front of an audience, right? So there's going to be a lot of writing done. There's going to have to be trim when you do it in front of people. Um, and like honestly, I think that the good comics, like let's say people that have a big audience like Sammy and like other people that are headliners, they'll be the ones that come in back to work first because fans were wanting to go see them. But for like the guys that are like middling or opening, that's gonna be like people like in New York. I'm really worried about New York because most of the people that I work with, who knows? Like I know if this goes for 6 months, most of the comedy clubs that I work with, they're gonna be out of business or they're gonna be really, you know what I mean? Like it's gonna be tough. So I'm more concerned about the small comedy clubs
Mhm.
than for the big heavyweights, right? Because
It's
they're
gonna be
people.
it's gonna
Yeah,
be like before the boom. The way I see it is gonna be like before the boom. Like before the boom, you had like 3, 4 clubs, and that's it. And then suddenly there was a boom in comedy, and then all those tiny rooms open everywhere. It's as if you took a carpet, you dusted it off, and now you have like a clean carpet. Ali, you might carpets.
Detergent.
You might
Detergent. Yeah, thank you.
you
I do it
wanna
every
you
day.
wanna
I
chip
do it
you
every
wanna
day.
chip in carpets here. I think it's gonna like small rooms are just gonna burgeon again from like all new rooms are gonna pop out. The more and more people are gonna come out. Hopefully, more and more people, more and more tiny rooms are gonna open again.
I think you're right, Amer. I think it's not like you dusted off the carpet. It's like you put gasoline on it and lit the fucking carpet. Not,
Sid, I'm an optimistic guy, man. I'm trying to see it in a positive way. I
you
think
also
live, everything won't die. It can't die. Maybe it's gonna take to
it won't.
2021, but
But
it can't die.
I don't think it's gonna die. I think it's gonna take I think Sam's right. It's gonna take a while for it goes back, maybe a year. But I think 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. I think forget it. Psychologically, especially in New York, Santi.
yeah.
The deaths that are happening, the amount of people that have lost other people, and that's gonna keep going. I doubt people are gonna want to go see a show. Number one, risk their life, their family's life to go out and see
Dude,
this shit.
Yeah, I tell you, I yesterday when I was telling you guys for the first time, there's two people that I know that have close friends that are really affected by this. Like there was a guy that went to do the show, Peroni. It was a group of friends of it was Joe Russell, like a bunch of Osama Siddiqui. Like they all came to Montreal. It was one of them, Phil Duckett. His sister, she's in her 20s. She was, she got the coronavirus. She ended up in the hospital with a ventilator fighting for her life. And she's in her 30s.
Jesus Christ.
And this are people that, you know, these are people that I know. So when you get anecdotal stuff like that, we're like, oh shit, you know, this is really happening, and it's only being week 2. New York is going to have a lot of casualties, and I think that
Yeah.
for a city that didn't take it seriously, it's going to be longer to go back to the way that things used to. Montreal would actually be safer because Montreal's handled it, as Sammy and everybody has said. Montreal and Quebec have handled this way better, so it might be easier to go back to stand up here than it will be in New York.
I think it'll be easier on the French side because Quebecers really don't care about their lives. They're just